So the date is the 27th of November 2022, and after a 2-week holiday to Costa Rica, I felt pretty inspired that basically I want to create a jungle sort of slash tropical garden. At the moment, my front garden is very much a herbaceous sort of perennial cottage garden style planting. The back garden is a kind of mismatch of various different types of plants and sort of different themes. So what I'm looking at basically doing is I'm going to put a couple of pots on the edge of the patio, which will have some some small palm trees in them, which will give that kind of sort of jungly, sort of tropical foliage. Plan to keep round the pond most of the existing planting, which I've got Mahonia soft caress in the corner there, and various ferns and grasses. I'm going to add some more kind of colourful tropical plants round the edges, like canna lilies and that kind of thing, maybe some hostas. This is a selection of plants which I've brought home at the moment, but haven't yet decided exactly where they're going. But I've got things like Nandina domestica, phormiums, choisias, various ferns, different types of persicaria, and some acanthus out here, loads of canna lilies, and yeah, some various sort of evergreen, lots and lots of evergreen plants. So basically the plan is when you walk through this area, there'll be two pots, one placed there and one placed about here, which will have the palm trees. And we've already got in this section a jungle style garden with fatsias and things like that, which has helped to sort of inspire the theme on there. So there's going to be some tweaks in there, but it's not going to massively change. Bar area is going to stay the same. This area here, I will keep the mint hopefully in the front there, take out the viburnum and probably put in a phormium to give structure. Through this walkway here, the plan is to have sort of the more drier tropical plants, because this part of the garden gets really hot. So I want to try and keep it low on the left hand side and a little bit more sort of jungly on the right hand side. So various things I'm thinking of taking out here is the epimedium at the bottom there, the ground cover. I'm going to probably take that one out, but leave the Virginia because of the big leaves. And there'll be a mixture all through here of sort of half the plants will come out and another half of the more tropical looking ones will go in. This top area is going to say roughly the same, a few plant changes on there. The back border I'm hoping will house lots of the much taller tropical plants, which will give a really interesting backdrop. I'm probably going to take the roses out, much as I love the roses. Euphorbia will stay in because that's kind of got a sort of tropical foliage on there, but we just need more colour in the back border, more hot colours. So I'll probably put lower planting at the front and obviously the tall tropicals at the back, maybe even some sort of snow bananas, which will hopefully survive outside with protection from the giant hedge on there. This back area here, I'm looking to change the planting around this area, put some sort of bigger stuff in there. Behind the shed probably will just be more of a storage area like it was before. Keep the kiwi vine up on the shed there. And this area I'm looking at making a kind of, it's very much a shady area during the summer, so I'm looking at having this with ferns, keep the pulmonaria in there and thin out the phlomis. This fern here is kind of a bit of inspiration for this section, so I want to sort of add in some different textures, make it more, not necessarily colourful plants, but much more kind of green glossy leaves and just interesting foliage types. Probably the roses will come out of this section as well. The Rebecca is huge at the moment, so I want to split that into a lot smaller chunks and dot that throughout the borders rather than having it as massive chunks, which it is at the moment. So on this section at the moment, it's obviously just lawn, and this is our kind of orchard area. So this area I think is probably going to change the most. So I'm looking at continuing this brick edge and following this white line which I've sketched out on the floor. So yeah, the brick edge will follow that, and that will create a path in this section which will then go through to the seating area. And then I wanted to keep this section very much an area that can be like a seating area, or possibly for the fire pit, but surround with, like, you know, tropical planting on this side, just to make it so you're more enclosed in the space, but you can kind of just sort of see over in the sections. Not sure what's going to happen about the plum tree and the cherry. They've never performed very well, so I think that probably both these trees will come out and maybe replaced with some more of the apples and pears, because they worked really well before on there, so that would give us, you know, good quantities of those fruits. We've got rhubarb patch in the corner, which I'll keep in there because that's got the really decent size leaves, and there's a fig growing above it, which I'm hoping will grow up quite tall in this section. The Brunner Jack Frost, which is in here at the moment, it's got a nice sort of tropical style leaf, so I'm going to keep that but dot it in the flower beds, sort of mix it up rather than having solid blocks of planting. And in here today I took out the catmint and the Russian sage at the back, so this will give me a kind of quite a wide, probably about 1.5 meters depth border, which I can put various different types of plants in there, but really want to keep that so that it's low, so you can see through into the chicken coop area. So that's essentially the plan. Obviously we're in November at the moment and it's raining at the moment, so that's the kind of the roughly where the borders are going and roughly what types of plants I sort of plan to put in. But as this is a sort of brand new project for me, it really, I'll be guided by what works and what doesn't work, and certainly I expect within the first year for it to be very experimental. Hopefully going on the YouTube videos that I've been watching, that will give me decent knowledge of what should work, and what normally happens with all the designs I do is generally sort of 80% of it works sort of first time, and then there's the 20% that you just keep tweaking you know, throughout the year, and especially into the second and third years, because the plants obviously get a lot bigger in that time. So that's essentially the plan. So hopefully the next video there'll be a bit more progress. Hopefully I would have moved some of the grass in this section, at least created the bed, maybe got some planting in. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.